Evening YouTube, how are we? Welcome to Training Thursdays. Now if you're regular to my channel, you will know this is a brand new setup. If you're new, Training Thursdays is all about helping you further your knowledge in the heating and plumbing world. And this week we've been looking at diverter valves. Now diverter valves, a lot of people will just spot a problem with one, throw a new one in, job's a good one. Well, there's a lot more to them than that, and if you know how they work and how you can actually repair them, it will help further your knowledge when doing breakdowns on them. Now I had an instance the other week where, because I knew this knowledge of how to repair a diverter valve, it saved the customer a lot of money, it got them out of a jam. So we're looking at the two main types that I see out there. First off is the Honeywell type, which is this one, and the other type is the Drayton type. So let's get to it. So the first one I want to talk through is the Drayton. This is a very common diverter valve you'll see. This is the 2-port version, 1-port, 2-port. You can get the mid-position version, well, the 3-port. I will show you that in a minute. But the heads that attach onto them, they're all the same. There's a little tab there to get it off, and it'll come off. Now this one, it will have A and B. This is the zone valve type. So I'm just going to put that to one side, but I want to show you the body first of all. Now, a lot of breakdowns that I'll get, especially in the spring, summertime, even the autumn, can be the customer will phone you up. They'll say, whenever my hot water's on, my heating is coming on. 9 times out of 10, it's a problem with the body, but you can actually repair this Drayton body. I'm going to show you how. So you can imagine that's in the naming cupboard. What's the common issue you get when trying to get one of these out? You've got no movement in the pipe. So if you spin this round, so you imagine you undo the top nut, bottom nut, obviously drain the system or bung the system, make sure you've got no water that's going to fly out of here before you do any of this. So undo your nuts and just twist it. Twist it in position with your head off. You can see on the back here, there's this nut. You can actually undo that nut. Now to get that nut out, you're going to need a radiator key or a big Allen key. So here is the radiator key. This is my trusted old faithful one. You can tell this has took a battering, served me well over the years. But that will actually fit inside there, and you can actually undo it. Now you might have to get some leverage, spanner, pair grips, anything just to get some leverage on that. It's not going to be this easy to do in the real world, it really isn't. But you undo that, and there you go, that is your nut off. So once you got the nut off, on here it's a circlip. Now in the new paddle you should get a new one of these circlips, but just in case you don't, be very gentle getting this off. Now you can use like a 2-prong plier, or you can just use electrical. Now I normally struggle and use electrical because it's what I've got on me and I can't be bothered to go to the van most of the time. So you just want to prise that off very gently. I do mean gently because you don't want to stab yourself in the finger as well. There we go. That is a circlip pop. It is very small, so be careful. What you can do now is just push the paddle and you can put it out. If you can't get your fingers onto it, what you can do is get your electrical, just push it down and it will push it all the way through. And there we go. That's the paddle out. So once your paddle's out, what you want to do, you want to clean up inside here. You want to get all the gunk out, like a wire brush, so you get that in there, give it a really good clean out. And you can pick these paddle kits up for about 10-15 quid. 10-15 quid. So once you've done that, you get your new paddle, push it through. Then you can reassemble it. Obviously put your circlip on, then you want to put your back nut on. You do get a new O-ring with them kits as well. What you can do then is tighten that up, pull that out, and there you go, that's it all done. Now I haven't put the circlip on yet on purpose, because I did have an instance once where I replaced a boiler in the summer, went to test the heating, it was on one of these 2-port. Because it hadn't been used for a while, that had gone absolutely rock solid. You couldn't open it. Now I've got a pair of grips and I could turn it fine, but it's going to seize up again, isn't it? So what you can actually do is you can pop that circlip up. You don't even have to drain it for this one. You pop the circlip off, you put some oil or some lubricant down there. Then what you can do then is move it up and down. Move it up and down, so you're just greasing up all that shaft in there. It'll make it nice and easy to move again. Now I have known, it didn't happen to me, it happened to one of my colleagues. He was actually doing this technique and he actually pulled up too hard, snapped the paddle off because it had rotted, water everywhere. So Never happened to me though. It's never happened all the times I've done that, but that will actually lubricate that up. Then you can pop your circlip back on. So as you can see, they're nice and easy to actually repair. So once all that's cleaned up, you've got a new paddle in that body. It's like a brand new valve, isn't it? So we're just going to pop the circlip back on there, and then we're going to look at the head. There we go. That is that body all repaired, all done. Before we move on to the head, actually, let me show you the mid-position dial, because it is a little bit different. It's near enough the same, but a little bit different. So the mid-position one, yes, this is a female threaded one. It's the only one I had. You'll find that where the compression is on the bottom of here, there's another nut here. What you can actually do is undo that nut. It won't be hand tight. You will need a spanner, pair of grips. But you just undo that nut. Now you've got access in there. To do the same again, you can just pop that circlip off there. Just like that. Again, pop your paddle down. You push your screwdriver through there. Out comes your paddle. Clean up all the inside there. Put your new paddle in. Put a bit of silicone grease on there just to make sure that it stays nice and lubricated. You can push it back through, circlip back on, and put it all back together. So same again, mid position, same as the 2-port. The only difference is you have to take that nut off to gain access to it. There you go. Let's pop that back on. Circlip back on, and there you go. That is the mid position and the 2-port all repaired. That's the bodies all done. Let's take a look at the Drayton head. So the Drayton head, this is a zone valve type. The mid position one is the same to take apart. There's a screw just there. Make sure you electrically isolate your system before attempting any work on anything like this. So you just take that screw out, it comes off, and it's like hooked in at the back here, and off it comes. And you'll see in there we've got this motor here. This is called the synchron motor. This is what moves the paddle. So what you'll get 240 come down on one of these wires. 240 will power the motor. The motor will turn, and it will activate a switch. That switch will then send 240 to your pump of your boiler to say, we're ready to come on. You do the diagnostics from inside the valve if you want to. You've got ample room inside there to get your electrical tester in there. So if you've diagnosed that it's a synchron, let me show you how to take it apart. So on the Draytons, you've got 2 screws, one there and one there. So what we're going to do then, just undo them screws. Screws undone. This is where everything will just come apart on it now. Like that. Yep. There you go. It all just, it seems like it all falls apart. Don't worry, it's dead easy to put back together. So I'm just going to pop these out the way. That's what it looks like inside with the synchron mounter attached. You can see there, it's plugged into there. So all you do, if you want to change the synchron, it will come with 2 types of adapters, spade bits and like a connector. So on the Draytons, you put 2 new spade bits onto your synchron. I will show you a replacement synchron when we come to the Honeywell. But all you do is change it over. Then you can put it back together. So when it does turn the synchron, it's actually making a switch. It's very hard to see, but there's a little switch down there. If you ever take one of these apart, actually move that part there, you'll see where it makes the switch. Another problem you'll find on these as well is you'll take the head off and you'll shake it, and it'll sound like, you know, it's a bag of nails in there. There's something in there, it's rattling around. 9 times out of 10, this part here on the spring has broke and one of your springs has gone. You can actually just put a new bolt through there and hook the spring back on. So even if like that plastic breaks, I've done it before, I've put a bolt through, hooked it back on. I think that was 3 years ago, and it's still going strong to this day. So you can actually repair the springs as well. So there ain't a lot really that you can't replace in this 2-port. There's no circuit board or nothing in there. It is just a switch. That's it, a motor and a switch. There's not a lot to go wrong in them. So what we're going to do is just pop it all back together. The easiest way normally to do this, I'm looking for the motor, it's dangling, is to put this part back together like that. Put the bottom plate on, then feed it through. Just like that. And you can tighten up your screws just inside here. So the wires you can just put around there. Head back on. Got that right way? No, right the wrong way. Head back on. Just under them hooks there, push down, tighten that screw up, and there you go. That is how you repair a Drayton head. So there you go, we've run through all the parts on a Drayton, how to repair the synchron motor, how to repair the paddle inside. Let's take a look at the Honeywell valve. So now we're moving on to the Honeywell. Now this is not a Honeywell. I know, it looks exactly like one, but it's not one. The Honeywell seems to be the most common out there because a lot of other brands use them. This is Banico controls. Don't know whether I'm saying that right. Wouldn't recommend these. This is why I'm doing the demonstration on these. I bought a batch of these and I had a couple fail. So I am doing the demonstration on this because I will not fit this in a customer's house. That is just my personal opinion now. EPH use the same type as a Honeywell, and obviously a Honeywell. There's a few other brands out there that use it, so it is very common. So to get the head off, there's just a screw there. Undo that, and that part will come off. So on the Honeywells, there'll be earth lead that's attached to that. That'll just be dangling and flapping all over the place. That one we can get out the way for the demonstration. So if we move on to the synchron motor. So to get the synchron motor out on the Honeywell, there will be a little screw where all the wires are here. There'll be a little screw just down here. What you want to do is undo that screw. Don't lose the screw. Screw it out. Lucky I've got the table there. Now it is hooked in just around the back here. So what you need to do is like pull the head off and twist it round, and it will just come out like that. There you go. That is the synchron motor out. If you look down inside here, there is a little switch down here. That's what makes the switch. So 240 comes in, synchron moves, and it'll move and make the switch just down here. So if synchron's failed, you've diagnosed synchron. You can see here, it's actually connected by a connector block there. On the Honeywells, it is welded into the board there. And so 3 ports are a little bit different because they have got a board in them. This one, I could actually undo it just down here, take it out, yeah, just wire my new one in. But the Honeywell one, you can't, you have to snip them. So let me just snip these wires, and I'll show you how to do the repair synchron motor on a Honeywell. I'll go on back now easily. So old synchron motor, all done, all out the way. You can see now we're left with 2 wires. Now let me show you the replacement synchron motor. These cost about, again, 10-20 quid, if that. Very cheap part. So here is our replacement synchron motor. If we open the box up, you can see inside here we will get the synchron motor. Then we'll get a little bag of bits. We get 2 connector blocks just here. So with the new synchron, what we want to do, get our connector blocks. Comes with screws as well. So what we're going to do is connect the wires up. Just pop them together like that. Connection there. You're going to push them through. Then you're going to crimp them up. You can use a crimper or you can use a grit. Just really crimp them on, and that'll connect it on there. Do the same with the other side. Now I'm not going to do it on this one because I actually want to keep that. I want to keep that. That comes in handy. That is actually off my van. I do want to keep that. But you can imagine now you've got them crimped up and you want to get your diverter valve back in. A little bit. It can be a little bit awkward on the Honeywells, to be fair. What you got to do is like put it in that hole there, which is like a gear there. You'll see it. Then you got to hook it round here on there. It's only 1 screw, but it's a little bit fiddly. So you can see the Drayton's got its good points and bad points, and the Honeywell's got its good points and bad points. I'll say this is one of the bad points from this one. To be fair, the Drayton ain't easy neither. It just seems to all fall apart on you, but let's get this one back in. There we go. That back in. So the most frustrating part of the whole process is going to be getting this tiny screw back through that hole. It will drive you mad, but electrical screwdriver, you should be fine. Sorry, a magnetic screwdriver, you should be fine. I've only got my electrical on me, so it's probably going to drive me batty. But I will do my best to get this back in. Watch me struggle. That took longer than what I thought, to be honest with you. It did. So yeah, just imagine there, you've got the wires all connected up there. It's all back on, all done. Get them wires out of the way. Pop your head back on. One thing I don't like about the Honeywell valves, the metal casing. I don't like that. I'd rather it be a plastic. Well, I suppose metal's going to last longer than plastic, but if you get short in there, it's a metal case. So what do you think? You just push that back over. screw on, there you go. That is how you do the synchro motor repair on Honeywell. Now you can repair the body of the Honeywell as well, so let's take you through that. So we're just going to undo the screw on there again, take the head off, and you'll look inside here. If you look down here and here, you'll see 2 screws. So all you do, undo them screws, bottom right, top left, pull it, and there you go. You've got it disconnected. And this is what it looks like once you've got the head off, just like that. And you can see here you've got a plate, it's called an adapter plate. And inside there is our ball. Again, if you get a complaint, heating's coming on at the same time as the hot water, it's going to be because the ball in here is swollen and cruddied up or the spindle's gone. So you can repair this. Let me show you how. So to get the adapter plate off, you're going to need an 8mm bit. So you can undo these 4 screws. Don't forget, drain or bung the system first. Don't do this live, you're going to get very wet if you do. So what I normally like to do is, if you can't find anywhere to drain the system once you've bunged it, is I will undo these just slightly, like that. I'll get a screwdriver and I'll just put it underneath there and I'll prise it just slightly up like that. It will squirt out a little bit, but it'll just drain the part that you need it to. There you go. So once you know the water's stopped, or you've drained down the system, or you've bunged the system. If you don't want to know how to bung the system, there's going to be a video on my channel of how to bung the system. So you can have a look at that if you want to learn how to do that. Once you've undone them all and you've got it out, we take that off. There you go. That is what's going to be gone inside there. That's the ball inside there. Again, what you want to do is clean up all inside here with 2-port, 3-port. Make sure it's nice and clean in there. Wide brush, give it a good clean out. And this pack here that you get, it's a Honeywell 007 adapter plate. It comes with everything in there. You get your O-ring, you get your plate, you get your screws. Just remember though, which order you took the screws off, because if you put them in the wrong place, you're not going to be able to screw back down. You're not going to have a hole to put your screw in. So we went bottom right, top left. Just remember them. So you've changed your O-ring there, you cleaned up inside there, you've got your new ball, you've got it on, and you can just pop your screws back in. What I can do then is just tighten everything up. Now there was a circumstance where I had a job the other week and the customer was actually looking to replace the system within 6 to 8 months. And there was again a problem where the heating was coming on every time they had to go water on. Diverter was in an absolute awkward place. Really bad. I've actually got the videos on YouTube and actually done this, and it's still fine to this day. Absolutely fine, no problems. Saved the customer a fortune, get on me out of a jam. You didn't know you could do it, did you? You'd just be quoting for a new diverter. So that is a very good technique you can do, especially imagine that on the 2 ports, not a lot of room, not a lot of access. You can do that. So once you've done that, your ball's going to be all over the place. All right. So to get this back on, what I normally do is the lever there, I'll just pull it all the way across, then I'll line this up and I'll just wiggle and wait for that snap. I know now that has snapped into location, it's in the right place. I haven't got to play about with the paddle, the ball, trying to get it in the right place. I can get down inside there now, tighten my screws up, and that'll be the repair done on the Honeywell type of valve. There you go. Just coming back to the Drayton, this is one I actually took out of a customer's house. I think it was like over a combi swap, something like that. So this is the 3-port version. I showed you the 2-port. Let me show you the 3-port. Again, head comes off like that. However, where's the tab for me to take it off? There's no tab for me to take it off, is there? It's because you can't change inside there. I'll take it apart and I'll show you. So you can repair the diverter valves. Again, these just 2 tabs. There you go. That's out. Get that out the way. Get that out the way. Yeah, as you can see, there is no access inside there to get that head off. Unfortunately, if you come across one like that, when it hasn't got the tab, you cannot change it. Remember what I said about the nut here? If you had the head off, that's the nut you'd undo. I just thought I'd show you on the 22mm compression version instead of the female version. But yeah, same with the Honeywell. If it's got 4 screws on it, don't try and take the head off because you'll undo all 4 screws and it'll just pop off. You can put an adapter plate on if you want to retrofit it. But yeah, with them, if you haven't got the head to take them off, you can't replace it, unfortunately. but you can do the synchron motor, so that might help. So there you go, that is the Honeywell and the Drayton valves all explained, how to do the bodies, how to do the heads, how to do synchron motors. The synchron motors one, I'm sure that will help you out. If it's just a motor, it's a cheap, quick, easy fix. The plates and cleaning the bodies, again, in my circumstance where the customer's looking to change the system, it's a quick, cheap, easy fix. Hopefully then will help you out, and it will help you understand how a diverter works. If you understand how something works, your breakdown knowledge will become a lot better. So hopefully that's helped you out. Thank you very much for watching. If it has helped you out, please look at the subscribe button. It would really help me out. If you've got any questions, as always, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, that's us all done. Happy days.